on this course?
I don't study.
Mm-hmm.
I um I am a engineer.
Mm-hmm. Engineer. Okay.
Lab theory.
Okay. Okay. And where are you from? From Guayaquil or from somewhere else?
I'm from Latacunga.
Okay. Okay. Welcome. Welcome, Angeles. I remember you from last week. Fiorella, Danielle, would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Well, I believe that Brian is also here.
Yes, Brian, welcome.
And last
Good afternoon, mister.
Oh, there he is.
Welcome back. Feels like we never left. The thing for those of you, Brian and Danielle were in my previous group, level 5. So that's how we just finished that one, and they enroll in the second one. So that's how we know each other. Okay, so Brian, no, let's start with Danielle. Could you introduce yourself to the rest of the classmates, please?
I'll do it first. I'm Daniel Cortez. I am from Esmeraldas. I am a dental student. What else? And Mantas was my teacher in the previous course. So I know him from the previous period.
And Brian and Danielle are good examples that you do pass with me as well. You do pass the course. Okay, well done. Thank you, Danielle. Nicole, welcome. I remember you from last week. Kimberly, were you here on Friday? No. Okay, so you're new as well. Okay, welcome. Could you give a quick introduction?
And yes, I am medical student. I'm going to medical internships in May. It's all.
Yeah. Why did you choose to study medicine?
Well, because I love it. I love it. I help I help the people.
You love to help the people. Okay. And do you have any brothers or sisters?
Yes, two siblings.
2 siblings. Okay, good. Are they studying as well?
Yes.
Okay. What do they study?
And my brother is studying in La US. And my sister study in la Universidad Salesiana. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Well, welcome. Good to have you here. Javier, welcome. Remember you from last Friday. Hector, good to see you. Brian, could you introduce yourself because you were not here on Friday? Could you introduce yourself to the rest of the class, please?
Yes. Hello, my name is Brian Jimenez. I'm an economist. Well, I have 23 years old, and I'm from Guayaquil. And yeah, I love to work and help people. And also, I work in the medical sector in Guayaquil.
Okay,
And that's it.
very good, very good. Welcome back, Brian. Jamilet, welcome. Remember you from last week. Naleli, your camera on, please. Guillermo, Angeli, Loha, Angelica, and Ingrid, your cameras on, please. Remember, the cameras must be on throughout the session. Okay? So, I remember Guillermo, I remember Angeli. Naleli, were you here last Friday? Naleli or Nayeli? How do I pronounce your name? Hello? Angeli, Angelica, and Ingrid. Your cameras on, please. Okay, guys, so we went through the main rules on Friday. Now, as there is a group of new students, so with some, Danielle and Brian, we went through that already in our previous course, but some of you might be new, so Kimberly and others. So I will quickly run through some basic rules about how we're going to run this course. Now, the first rule that I want to come back to is that if your camera is not on, it's not fair for other students to get this distraction. So what I'm going to do, if I call your name twice and you do not respond, I will have to put you in a waiting room until you sort out your camera. You send me a WhatsApp message to say that it's working, and only then I will let you in. So the final chance, Nayeli, sorry for if I pronounce your name wrong, Angelica Loha, and Ingrid. Okay, here you go. Thank you. So remember, the cameras must be on throughout the session. Okay? Now, hello, welcome, Diego.
Montes,
Yes.
Brian and I were wondering if you guys had any activities on Moodle.
Yes, I'll come to those in a second. So just give me a second. Okay. I just need to, as I said, put those in a waiting room who don't have cameras. Now, let's go through some basic things. So for those of you who missed, I'm sorry for having to repeat that again, but that sometimes happens when we have a combination of some students starting a bit later than others. So for those of you who were present on Friday, I do apologize for you to have to listen to this again. For those of you who this is a new information, and if I run through it too quick, you're very free to send me a message, okay, on WhatsApp, and I can explain a bit in more detail. So first thing we spoke about last week is the course evaluation. Course evaluation meaning what the final grade will consist of. So if you recently took any of the courses with the Academy, you would be graded according to this criteria. If you did not take it recently, you might be graded with a different one. First thing first, Alticia will be the 20% of your final grade. Okay, so 2 points out of 10 will go to Alticia. You need to make sure you are on a level B1.2. Yeah, so if you log into Alticia, everyone should have their access there. You log into Alticia. On the right-hand side where you see your name and all of that information, your percentage, you need to make sure that the current course level shows B1.2. For those of you who took previous courses, it might show B1.1, it might show A1, A2, whatever else. You need to make sure that on Alticia it is showing B1.2. That's very important, because even though you complete 100% of B1.1, you're going to get 0 points because you're on the wrong level. Okay, so make sure, if you don't know how to change it, it's very easy. Once you see on the right hand side, you see B1, let's say 0.1, you click on there and it will redirect you and allow you to select a different course level. If you have some difficulties, send me your print screens and I can help you through the WhatsApp. Okay, but that's very important to make sure you have B1.2. Now, we need minimum 50% from Alticia. So the platform is open and it's for you to use. So for this specific level 6, you need minimum 50% because it's an express course. Of course, it won't stop you at 50%. So if you complete 60, 70, 80, 90, or a full 100, that's excellent. That's you are making a better progress in that regard. But we will only be grading 50% and that's it. So if you want to get those 2 points, make sure that you have those 50% on Alticia. Okay. Again, the platform, you have all of the access. If you're struggling with the access, or if you're struggling to change the course, please let me know. That's one. Second, another 20% will go through the activities that we have in the class on Moodle. Okay, so what I do, and if I don't see the students abusing this, I'm gonna keep it like that, that I do keep all of the activities open until the end of the course. However, the writing activities that we do, because they have to be manually graded, so I only leave them for that specific class. So if you miss that specific class, unfortunately, you will not be getting that grade, unless we'll talk about some exceptions from the rules here. But generally speaking, all of the activities will be unlocked. You need to obviously complete them in the class because you need to have the attendance. But if you miss the class, all of them will be unlocked. You can log into Moodle and complete them at the time that is convenient for you. Okay. But of course, another thing, do not leave it until the last minute, which sometimes, and it happened with my previous course with Alticia, that some students left it until the last minute, did not complete it, and lost their 2 points, and then consequently failed the course. So please do not do that. Continue as we go along, little by little. Log into Alticia every second day, make some progress, and you will see how much easier it will be in 3 or 4 weeks' time when we're preparing for the exams and everything, and you don't have to worry about that. The same with Moodle. Moodle, we're doing some activities in the class. I normally don't ask to do as the homework. Sometimes it happens because of the time constraints. We take a longer time to complete those activities in the class, and I ask the students to complete them at home for the following class. But it doesn't happen often because this course is designed to be done in the class without any homeworks. Alticia is kind of your homework. Okay, so Moodle activities, will try to complete everything in the class. Of course, I cannot force everyone, and I can see that some of the students are not completing their activities in the class. And I can see if I have 18 students or 16 students now in a class, and we're doing a classroom activity, I can see that only 14 logged in. I cannot force you to do that in the class, but you need to make sure that you complete that activity after the class. Okay, it's your responsibility. Next, projects, group work, extracurricular activities, 20%. So this will be predominantly the videos. This will be predominantly the grades from quizzes and from other activities that we might have. So this could be writing an email. This could be writing some sort of smaller or shorter essay about a certain given topic, or it could be any other form. I normally, for the projects, I prefer individual work, so I don't put the students into groups because, of course, it's a bit more challenging and difficult for you to work with someone else in the group, especially when we have such a little time because of the express course template and format. So normally, extracurricular activities will be individual activities sent to the students. Now, for this, I obviously tell this in the class. What activities are going to be? Is that going to be a video, an essay, or something? And then I give you some time. So normally it's, again, between 24 hours up to 3 days or so. Okay? Those activities are not long. They do not require a massive preparation or so. Let's say from the previous course, we had a lot of video activities where we would finish the level and I would ask you to record a short video on any specific topic. So again, this is an individual activity. You don't really need to do a massive investigation for most of the topics. You just share your opinion on a specific topic. So I would say, okay, if we're talking about the films, describe your favorite movie or describe your favorite movie set. Yeah. So you take your camera, you press record, and you record for 1 minute. What is your favorite movie set, or what is your favorite movie, and so on. And then you send it to me. So all of these instructions will be told as we go along. I obviously also send all of these instructions to our emails, not email, sorry, to our WhatsApp group. And that's going to be our main point of communication. So that's for the project. And the final one is the exam, which will consist of written exam and oral exam. Now, for those of you who never took it, oral exam is the most important one because it has 80% of the final exam grade. And written exam is only 20. Written exam consists of two parts. One part you have vocabulary, you have grammar, you have tenses, whatever was covered in that specific unit. And then you have the writing, where you have to write 200 words on one of those given specific topics. So again, both of these tasks combined, they only stand for 20% of your final exam grade. And the 80% is your oral exam. Now, oral exam is different, and I'm sure Danielle and Brian can tell that. That's different for every single teacher. The oral exam will be done by another teacher from the academy, so not myself. And what they're gonna do, they choose a template how they want to proceed. So it might be the case that they will ask you to describe a picture. There might be the case that they will ask you specific questions that we spoke about in the units. So again, in each unit that we're gonna cover, unit 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, we're gonna have different topics. So let's say in unit number 6 now, we're talking about cinema. So it might be that the question in your oral exam is something about the cinema. It might be that it will ask you a different question from any other topic. It might be that the teacher will choose to put you in the groups of 2 and then have it examined that way. Or it might be the case where the teacher will invite all of the group, 8 or 12 students, and they're going to interview you one by one. So it is entirely up to the teacher to decide what template they want to use. My preference is always one-to-one. This exam takes 10 minutes approximately. But again, it's very visible what kind of what things you are saying. So now that we are at the level almost B2, obviously a lot of things that the teachers pay attention is your vocabulary, is your use of grammar, so how you're using and how you're working with the different tenses you have. So you don't just use the same present simple or past simple, if you're talking about the past, how you're mastering the different tenses. Are you using the extended vocabulary, or your vocabulary is limited to good, bad, excellent, and so on? Yeah. So this is what shows what kind of English level you have, and obviously what kind of English level you would be expected to have at a specific level. So vocabulary is super, super important. The vocabulary that we cover in the class is very important, not just to stay or keep it in that unit and that's it, you forget about it. It's very important for you to incorporate in your own individual dictionaries that you are using and use it on a regular basis. So if we're talking about strong adjectives, you should remember those. If you can't remember, my advice is write it down. Make your own individual vocabulary. So again, on a piece of paper or somewhere, just write it down. Write down those words that you are not familiar with, or you don't know how to use or how to master it, and then slowly try to incorporate them in your speaking. Okay, so that's very, very important to have those words, because I said a lot of those grades will depend on the vocabulary you're using. Yeah, so that's going to be the final exam. And yeah, so does anyone have a question about the evaluation before we move on? No? Okay. Especially those students who are new. Diego, Luis, your camera is on, please. So if you have, I'll tell you what, if you have some questions later, I'll tell you how to communicate with me. Now, here we need to make some changes. We don't need this anymore. Now, WhatsApp group. There were some changes to the WhatsApp group. So majority of you should be included in the group. I have 2 students who I did not include yet over the weekend, and I will do it as we go along today. If you are not part of the group yet, Mr. Alfonso should have included you. If he did not yet, send me an email with your number, and I will include you in that group. Okay? But most of the communication will be done through the group. One, because it's the quickest way to communicate. Two, because I can pass you a lot of additional information. They want you to pay attention. And three, to make sure that you are aware of the specific deadlines that we have. So for example, if there is a project, a video project you need to submit, I will send you a reminder. Guys, please make sure you send me videos by tomorrow or by whichever day. Or if you missed it, I will put the information there as well. So as I said, if you are not a part of the WhatsApp group, send me a message. My email is here. Send me an email with your full name and your phone number, okay? And I will include you in that group. Second thing that's very important, all of the absences from the classes, so for reason A, B, C, or whichever reason, they have to be justified. And justification can only be done via the email. So please, for missed classes, do not send me WhatsApp messages. Send me an email saying, Mantas, I missed the class because A, B, and C, and this is my justification. Justification is a doctor's letter. Justification is your employee's letter, like if you had to work, or a picture of your schedule showing that you had to work that specific day or that hour, and that's why you missed the class. Or any other evidence. But I need to have a supporting document with your justification. You cannot say I missed a class because I just missed a class. That's not justifiable, okay? In those cases, it happens, and we do understand at the academy very well that yes, you might have a family gathering, you might have some other circumstances, but that's where you have this 30% that you can miss, okay? So 70% attendance is what you need to have. Now, for those classes that you miss and they are not justified, they will count obviously as those missed classes. And there's nothing wrong with that. There is a leap there. But of course, if you are continuously missing the classes, then there might be some problems. And even if your grades are very good or very high, you can still fail the course because of the attendance. So please make sure you do attend the class. Please make sure you participate in the class. Because I can see that some students show up at the beginning of the class and they then halfway through the class, they leave without a message or anything. And I am marking that as an attendance because I'm putting for each class, I'm putting that as a 3-hour class. So that's okay. If you missed one class or 1 hour, I will mark it as you missed 1 hour, but participated in 2. So it's not just a day, but it's specifically per hour. And I will be very strictly marking that. So please, if you are gonna miss the class, please make sure you have the supporting documents for that. And please make sure you send me that through the email. My email is here, mantas.mysurname@gmail.com. Okay? So please make sure you do that. And the final thing about this, what I need, especially from the new students, I need you to send me your cedulas from both sides, okay? And your passport size photo with a white background. So if you don't have that type of photo, you just can stand next to the white background, snap a picture of your on your phone and send it to me. I need this before the beginning of the class tomorrow for those students who join late. For those of you who will participate in Friday's class and you send me the information, you don't need to resend it to me, obviously. But for those who are new students, for this specific class, you need to do it and send me that email, okay? So white background and your picture, and then that's one file, and then the second file, your cedula from both sides. Without these documents, I will not be able to let you continue with the class until I have those documents, because we need to make sure that all of the students who signed in for the class, they're present in this specific class. Okay, so my email is here. Again, don't send me those files to WhatsApp group or anywhere else. They have to be sent to my email. My email is here. Okay, so please make sure, I'm going to copy and put in a chat right now so you can save it and send it to me later. But please make sure you send me that email right now. Okay, tomorrow maximum before the beginning of the class. If I don't get your email with these documents before the tomorrow's class, unfortunately, I cannot let you continue because we need to make sure that the right students who sign up for the class, they are here present. Okay? Now, does anyone have any questions from this part?
The photo is the ID.
Sorry?
The photo is the ID.
ID, like, what do you mean?
La cédula.
Yeah, cellular on one file. So cellular from both sides, and then just a separate picture, separate file of your picture, of your photo. So if you don't have like a passport size picture saved on your computer, you can do it right now. So stand, but the key thing is the white background. So stand next to the white background with your phone, snap a picture of yourself, and then attach it to the same email. Okay, so those two files, your cellular from both sides and your photo, attach to the email and send it to me. Okay, good. And also, as I said about the WhatsApp group, if you're not in the group yet, please make sure that you send me that as soon as possible. So send me an email with your phone number and your full name, and then I will include you in that group. More questions?
I have a question. Is
Tell
it
me.
okay if we send the email from our personal email, or do we have to use the institutional email?
Ideally, communication should be done through the institutional email, but if you have, I can't remember, I think you sent me last week already, no?
I
Yeah,
already sent
that's
it,
fine.
yes.
That's fine. No worries. You don't need to resend it, but all of the communication, like official communication, should be done through the university email. Yeah,
Okay.
because it's again, if I can see iPad de Fio, for example, I don't know who is the student, correct? So I would like to see that the student is who participates in this class is Fiorella. The same with the emails. If I get from someone that I don't know, that's not very helpful. So it should be official university email for all the communication from now on. Yeah. And Fiorella, I hope you heard that. Thank you. So what did we cover last week? Last week on Friday, which was our first class, we entered the unit 6A. Okay, so we started talking about the cinema. We started talking about the location where certain movies were shot or recorded. And we did the following activities. We did activity 1A, reading, and 1C. So those of you who missed the class last week, please make a note that you need to complete these two activities. Okay, so unit 6A, reading activity 1A, reading activity 1C. Then we moved on to vocabulary, and we completed activity, so vocabulary number 4, activity 4A, kinds of films, and activity here 4B, people and things. And that was basically it. We didn't touch the grammar yet. We did not do these readings yet. So yeah, so that was it. So those of you who missed the class last week, these are the activities that you need to complete. That's not much and quite quick and straightforward. Okay, now as we were talking about film scenes, and as we're also preparing throughout this courses for our oral exam that will have a lot of weight towards the final grade, and some teachers do have the preference of describing the picture, I thought we'll start the class with these specific pictures. So I took some 3 different movies. You might be familiar with all 3 of them or just with some of them. And what I want you to do, I want you to look at this picture here, as you can see on your screen. Whether you know the movie or not, it doesn't matter. But I want you to describe this picture. Okay? So now, how do we describe the picture? Daniel, How do we describe the picture? Don't describe the picture, but say, what would you say? What would you focus on in this picture first?
I would say that a pirate is running away and he's trying to get away with a boat.
Yeah.
And
Wait, sorry, 1 second. Don't describe the picture yet. Just
Oh.
how do you generally describe the picture, or what would you,
I-
what would
I
be
would
your
s-
approach?
I would see the whole thing. I would see the background. I would see characters. I would see facial expressions. I would see emotions.
Very good.
I would see a place.
Very good. Very good. That's a very good and accurate way. And thanks God you remember something from Unit 5. That's how you normally would be describing the picture. So what we are doing, like when we see the big picture like this, we don't just focus first on the specific detail. Okay, this boat looks like it has the hole inside. Okay, that's why it's probably going to be sinking. What we're focusing on is the as far away as we can. So describe the scenery where this is happening, describe the surroundings, and then come deeper, 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 and closer into the character or into the person who is in there. Describe how they look, describe how they might feel, and so on. So always start from as if you are an observer from far, far away. You're describing what can you see. So what we can see is the island, we can see the water, we can see the sand, we can see this, that. You describe that, and then you move closer to the object of this specific photo or picture. In this case, the object is this man, pirate, pushing the boat. Okay, so once you describe the scenery where this is happening, once you describe the surroundings, then you can talk about the object of this photo or the picture. So in this case, you're talking about the pirate, you're talking about the boat, you're describing the boat, how it looks. Does it look old, new, used? Does it look broken, or does it look very modern, fixed, and fast? As many adjectives as you possibly can, and when describing someone, and then you describe the person. Again, this is our perception of the picture. So when you look at this picture and you describe how he looks, then you need to describe his feelings. How do you think he feels? Is he happy? Is he confused? Why might he be confused? Why might he be upset or sad or lost? Okay, so that you describe how you see perception of his emotional state, or how does he look like. Okay, so let's try to and give it a go. Who would like to describe this picture? Okay, a lot of volunteers. Kimberly, would you like to try?
Well, I see the beach. I see a human. Who I see a poem.
Mm-hmm.
See a pirate. He is afraid.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What is he doing? What is the pirate doing?
what?
What is the pirate doing? What is this man in the picture doing?
Mm, is he's escape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he escaped from something. Okay, that could explain why he is scared, why he is confused. Okay, good. Nicole, what would you add more to about this picture? Nicole?
I is lost. One person that is lost.
Mm-hmm. Anything. What could you add from what Kimberly just said? What can you add additionally to describe this picture? Who would like to help? Who would like to add something else? What else can we add? So we know that it's an island, yes. We can see that the water, the waves are not very big. The water is crystal clear. Okay, the water is blue. The waves are not big. The sandy beach looks beautiful. We have some palm trees in the background. We can see some maybe hills there, or some other island there in the background. We can see the beautiful blue and white sky. We can see that it's a very, very sunny and very beautiful day. Correct? So that's describing the background. Now focusing more on the object. So we can see a pirate. He is on the beach. He looks a bit confused. He's trying to maybe push or pull the boat, because we don't know if he is pushing it to come back to the ocean or he's pulling it out. Maybe he escaped from someone. The boat looks old. It looks destroyed. It looks like he was maybe trying to run from someone and he found this island. Okay, so this could be a good description of the picture. Of course, you can describe it in your own ways. If you think that if you find that he is very happy to be on this island, you can say that. It's your opinion. No one will be judging you on that. What the teacher or the examiner will be judging you is on what kind of words, what kind of vocabulary you're using to describe this picture. The teacher will not say that, yes, he is running from someone, or he's trying to push the boat back to the sea, or that this boat looks not as old as you described it. It's not the facts that we're arguing here. We're looking at what kind of specific vocabulary you're using when you're describing a certain things. So start from the outside, like think of from far away, describe the scenery, whatever is happening, whatever your perception is, and then go and focus on the object. So do you know this movie, guys? Does anyone know what movie was that?
That's
Yes,
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Very good. Yes, Pirates of the Caribbean with Johnny Depp. Okay, very good movie. Now let's have a look at this picture here. Who would like to give it a go? Luis, welcome. I just now noticed that you are here. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Hi, teacher.
Hello. Okay, Hector, you want to give it a go?
Yes, I would say
Okay.
that seems like an elevator with a lot of
Mhm.
people.
Yes.
Maybe somewhere in Asia, because I don't know, there is a lot of old men with
Mhm.
like an Asian face. I don't know. And the
Mhm.
elevator seems pretty good, I think, like in a luxurious building, maybe like
Mhm.
an office building or a bank, maybe.
Mhm.
And I think all the people is bored.
Mhm.
There are a taller man, maybe from Europe or USA, because he looks very different.
Mhm. How is he
I think
different?
that's it.
How is he different?
Um, he looks with another skin color and different hair, and
Mhm.
I don't know, he looks different with bigger ears and
Mhm.
with bigger eyes.
And how do you think he feels?
I think he's bored.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a little bit bald as well.
Mhm.
And all the people is wearing suits.
Okay, suits, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the men are wearing glasses as well.
Okay, very good. Danielle, do you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I would say that all of them work for a corporation where
Mhm.
they need to use suits.
Mhm.
They obviously look like they are from an Asian country, except the one in the
Mhm.
middle, he looks Caucasian.
Mhm.
I would say they are in an elevator
Mm-hmm. Why would you say it so?
because they are enclosure in a place, in a small place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're going up or down.
Yeah, it would be quite difficult to know. Okay, very good. Very good description. Well done, both Hector and Daniel. And again, here is a good example of how can you shine and how can you make sure you have a better grade. Simple picture like this. But the words that are used, bored, luxurious, enclosed, bold, to describe the picture in general or the people. These words, again, they're not saying he's bad, he is good, he is tall, he is just short. You are using more advanced vocabulary. So these kind of things, these kind of words, or when you're describing a person or the space where they are, this obviously gives a teacher a better idea of what kind of vocabulary you have and at what level do you have. Are you more into A2 or B1 vocabulary, or you are higher at B2 or maybe even C1 vocabulary? So this is always the quickest way. Luxurious, enclosed, these are advanced vocabulary words that the students with a higher level would be expected to use. Okay, so again, describing the picture from far. So we're talking about the environment where they are. We're guessing that they are in the elevator. We're guessing that they are in a luxurious hotel or the office building, looking at all the wood or what looks like a wood, looking at all the decorations, the lights, and so on. And then we describe the main object. So we're looking at the surroundings of the people who are around. We're highlighting that they are probably Asian because of their facial features, as well as they are slightly shorter than the man in the middle. And then we describe the man in the middle, that he crossed out his arms, looking at his face expressions. He doesn't look very excited about his current situation. So of being there in the lift or being generally in that country where he is right now. He looks bored. He does not look overexcited or entertained about his current situation, whatever he is doing or whatever he is going. But that's a good way to describe it. So again, the words you are using show and tell the teacher a lot about what kind of grade you should be getting. Okay, very good. Well done, guys. And the final one, who would like to describe this picture?
Yes. Well, this is Tony Stark with his suit of Iron Man. I think it's the second movie of Iron Man, and he's with his wife. I don't remember the name, but they are in his mansion. In I think is I don't remember where the mansion, but yeah, this is what I remember.
Okay. Okay, so now just thinking that you don't remember anything, what could you say about the place where they are? Is this, that looks like a house, okay? So is it, what type of house that is?
House, the
A pen.
Yes. What else can we say about it? What other adjectives or what other words or phrases we can use about this house? Is it old? Does this look like a modern or super modern house? What would you say?
I would say between super modern and luxuries. Luxuries.
Okay, you can say both. You get luxurious, meaning something that looks expensive. Modern, something that has some sort of technology put in the house. So you can use both very easily. It looks like, yes, I would agree. It looks like a luxurious. It looks like a modern house. Then looking at the views, again, we can see, I don't know what that is, but I guess, well, from the movie, I know that it's the water, it's the ocean here. And we also know that this is his wife. Okay, now, without knowing the movie, how would you describe the main characters of this or the objects of this photo? Who are they? Kenya. Kenya? Yeah, I'm pronouncing your name correct?
Yes, they are a chair,
Mm-hmm.
they are a lamp, they are a table, they
Mm-hmm.
are the table.
Yes, a
The
table.
carpet.
Yes.
eh,
Here.
Two glass.
Mm-hmm. 2 glasses and a bottle of wine. Again, maybe they're celebrating something, correct? Because they might be celebrating. Yeah, what else?
A bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
No more.
What else? What time of the year it is, do you think, guys? Just a question to everyone. What time of the year do you think this is? Is it summer?
Mm,
And it's winter because it's Christmas time. I think there is some decoration.
Very good. Absolutely. Here, again, you can see a small decoration that would probably suggest to us that is the Christmas, unless they never bother to take it down. Okay, but these are the small details that you can see. There's not an obligation, obviously, to mention, but if you mention something like this to the teacher when describing the picture, that's very, very good. Okay, so very good observation, absolutely. There's 2 socks that are hanging here next to the fireplace. This would tell us that it's probably Christmas. This bottle of wine and 2 glasses would probably tell us that they're celebrating something. The fact that he is arriving late would probably mean that the wife or this whoever the lady is a bit upset that he forgot maybe, or he just arrived late to their celebration, and so on and so on. So any guesses is fine, but looking at the overall picture and then coming closer to the specific characters. Okay, so what movie is that? Do you know? I think someone mentioned already.
Iron Man.
Iron Man, yes. And this one, does anyone know this movie? Hector, do you know the movie?
No, I don't know what is this movie.
Okay, this is the movie Lost in Translation. I believe someone mentioned it last week when you were talking about the different locations where the movies were shot. So also very good movie. And then the first one we already mentioned, it's a Pirate of the Caribbean. Very good. Well done. So this is again, this is the good idea how we can, this is not the final how you should say or how you should describe the picture, but this is just to give you a rough or a better idea of one of the techniques that you can use when you're describing the picture. Start from the scene. Imagine this like you're describing something that you can see from far, so the surroundings, looking at the specific details like the palm tree, like the specific picture that's hanging on the wall, the specific decorations of the elevator, or of the specific Christmas songs hanging on the fireplace, and then go deeper into the characters or character. What are they doing? How do they look? How do they stand in their surrounding? How do they feel? Again, feeling is more of your perception. How do you think they feel? They feel happy, they feel sad, they feel excited, they feel honored to be there, so on and so on. Okay, so all of these things you need to practice, and that's what we're going to do in the future classes. The more you practice, the better you will become at this. The more elaborate vocabulary you use, the more better you will become at this. Okay, so let's just keep this in mind when we're describing the pictures next time. Now, I want you to have some reading activities actually. Okay, so I want you to log into your Moodle Unit 6A, and I want you to go through activities from the Reading 4A, reading 4B, and reading 4D. These are quick activities, okay? You don't need much time for them. So I want you to start with workbook reading 4A, just under the picture, and then 4B, true or false, and then 4D, completing the sentences. They're very quick activities, so we're gonna have probably around 10-12 minutes for all three. Okay, so one more time. Unit 6A, scroll down. These activities we did last week. So I want you to do these three activities. Workbook reading 4A, where do you think it comes from? Workbook reading 4B, true or false, and workbook reading 4D, complete the sentences. Okay, so start now, please, with 4A.
Mantas, can you check if you received my email?
Yeah, I'll check it. I did, but if you can send me another picture of yourself with a white background, that would be better. Danielle, Luis, Brian, I can see you already finished 3 activities. You can start those activities that we did last week. So go back to Moodle and the first 2 activities of reading, you can complete them now so you don't have to do it after the class. Yeah. Okay, guys, 3 more minutes and then we move on. So all the 3 activities, 4A, 4B, and 4D, 3 more minutes to complete. Okay, guys, 1 minute, and then we move on. So please make sure you finish 4A, 4B, and 4D. If for some reason you were delayed, do not start the activity yet because you only have one attempt and we're not going to have enough time to finish. So just wait and then you finish at the end of the class or during our break. 1 minute to finish the 3 activities. Okay, time's up. So if you haven't started the activity, any of these 3, or you've not finished, please make sure you finish at the end of the class or later on. Okay, but all of the activities of the reading have to be completed by now. Now, for those of you who are on the WhatsApp group, you should have received 2 pictures. Okay, so I'm actually recycling this from the previous course, but it was a good thing. So so here you go. Now, you should know this by now from your previous classes or from your previous unit, but I just found this and I thought it was very useful for you to have. So first of all, 2 things. The first picture that I sent to you is the parts of the speech. Okay, a lot of times when we have the instructions in each the activities or when we are discussing something, we don't know which part of the speech we're talking about or we get it confused. So please have this handy so that you know when I say, okay, find the nouns or find 5 verbs or verb 2, verb 1, verb 3, whatever. You know what we're talking about, okay? So have this, as I said, you should by now obviously know it, but as a reminder, as the kind of the short helping message, this is very, very useful. So you might want to print it or just write it down somewhere. Or if you remember, that's perfect. So first of all, let's look at the parts of the speech. The most important ones will be the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the first 6. Conjunction and interjunction, you're not going to use that much, and they are not the most important ones. But the most important are these 6. Okay? Now, if you look at any grammatically correct English sentence, you will see that the ones we are using and the only 2 we really need to form the very, very basic sentence is a noun and a verb. Okay? Can you think of a sentence just with these 2 parts of the speech, just with a noun and with a verb? Can anyone think of a sentence just with 1 noun and 1 verb?
Get married.
Here you go. More? More? Naleli. Could you please read what the noun is first here to everyone? Yeah, what is a noun? Could you read it here on my screen?
Yes.
Yeah? Can you hear? What is a noun? Just read it here. A noun names a person. Could you read out loud?
A noun names a person, place, thing, or idea.
Yes. And examples?
Pen, house, book, teacher, students, daughter, thief, Mary, etc.
Thank you, Javier. Very helpful. Well done. Verb, Guillermo, could you read what the verb is?
A verb is a word of group of words that describe an action experience.
Mhm.
For
An
example,
action or
study
experience.
experience.
Yeah.
For example, study, things, prepare, release, believe, look, see, and
Mhm.
etc.
Etc. Yes, realize, believe, look, see, or and so on. So as we said, only with these two parts of the speech we can form a sentence, which will be a very, very basic sentence. So as an example, use from here. Teacher studies, teacher thinks, thief prepares, daughter believes, daughter reads, and so on. So just with a noun and a verb, we can form a very, very basic sentence. These are the two parts of the speech that are necessary to form a very, very basic sentence. Now, once we start adding prepositions, adverbs, adjectives, we're expanding that sentence, making it more interesting. Okay? But just for the basic sentence structure, we need a noun and a verb. We're going to talk a lot about the verbs and how they change when we discuss different types of tenses, and that's what I'm going to come to in a second. But just remember that noun and a verb is a must in each sentence, in each grammatically correct sentence. Yeah? So these two parts of the speech, obligation to have. Then we add additional adjective, adverb, preposition, pronoun, and so on to make the sentence more elaborate, more understandable, more explicit of what we're trying to say. But without those two, noun and a verb, we cannot have a grammatically correct sentence. Now, preposition. What is a preposition? Josue. Josue, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
The preposition is used before a noun, pronoun, adjourn to show place, time, duration in a sentence.
Mhm. Pronoun?
That's both.
Go ahead, pronoun.
At, in, on, from, above, below, etc.
Very good. Fiorella, could you read about pronouns, please?
Pronouns replace the name of a person, place, thing, or idea in a sentence. Example, this, that, he, she, it, we, they, him, her, and etc.
Very good. The adverbs, Guillermo.
The adverb, an adverb tells how often, how, when, where. It can describe a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. For example, frequently, seldom, sometimes, early, soon,
etc. Frequently, seldom. Angeli, could you just tell me about the adjective?
The adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. Example, tall, thin, red, beautiful, ugly, sweet, handsome, etc.
Very good, thank you. So these are the, if you like to think like that, these are the 6 most important parts of the speech, the ones that we use the most. Okay, so these are the ones that I need you to remember. That's why I put this this picture here in the group so that you have it and you can remember for the future classes. Now, the second picture that I sent. Sorry, one second. We have 2 more students. Hello, Maria Antonieta.
Hello,
welcome back. Welcome. Good to have you on this this course as well. Have some familiar faces here from the previous class. Very good, very good. Good to have you. Welcome. I'm gonna go back in a second to tell you what we did and what you need to complete. But now we're just going to continue with this. So this is the second thing that I sent to WhatsApp group. These are the tenses that we are going to be using. Now, we're going to go through different tenses, and a lot of tenses you already covered throughout the previous units or throughout the previous studies. This is just a very short summary of that. So you have the specific tense, you have the specific rule, and then you also have the example of when do we use that tense. So this is very useful for you to have, again, as a summary. You went through some of these, you are going to go through some of this in more details or deeper, but for you to know which tense is used in what way, how do we form a tense? So we have V1, V2, V3, we're going to go through all of that, but you know the structure of each tense. This is also very, very important as we go along, because what you will see in this level and the higher levels is that we are coming up with more rules, more exceptions from each of the rules of when do we use past simple, of when do we use present continuous, and so on and so on. So it's always good to know and remember the tense, the rule or the structure of how do we form that tense, and then a specific example. Present simple, what's the rule? How do we form it? It's just the verb in the first form. I work, I go, I run, I read, and so on and so on. Present continuous, again, the rule or the structure, how do you form it, and then a specific example. So have this handy. It will be very, very useful as we go along and as we try to understand new tenses, as we learn about new tenses, and so on. And now we come to the favorite part. Maria Antonietta, I feel a bit sorry for you that you jumped straight into the grammar. but here you go. Okay, so Angelica Loja, could you please read these two sentences that are on your screen?
I cut my hair was cut.
Okay, so what is, and this is the question for everyone. What is, or what difference do you see between these two sentences? I cut my hair was cut. Can you see any differences? Do they have the same meaning? Do they have different meaning? If different meaning, how are they different? If the same, then?
I would say timing and tenses.
Okay, so what do you mean about timing and tenses?
In the first sentence, says, I cut my hair. She probably does it usually.
Okay.
And in the second sentence, she's talking in past, in the past tense.
Okay. Okay, so you think the difference between the first two are that the first one is in present and the second sentence is in the past tense, correct? Okay. Any more observations, anyone?
Also, the first sentence is using an active voice, saying I cut my hair. The second sentence is using like a passive voice. You use like the object, like my hair was cut. We don't say who cut it. You just say the hair was cut, like active and passive.
Very good. Now, can you explain a bit what is active and what is passive?
So how I understand it, active voice, you always put like the subject first. For example, I cook, I clean, or she cooks or she cleans. But when you use passive voice, you put like the object first. For example, the kitchen gets cleaned. So you say like the action and the object, but you don't say who cleaned it, because in this case it is not important. You only want to focus on the object and the action that is happening.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Very good observation. And absolutely spot on what are we going to talk about in today's class. I cut my hair, we are talking about the action that was done by myself, correct? In the second sentence, my hair was cut. We know the action, cutting the hair. We don't know who did the action. So when we don't know who did the action, or it's not important, we only want to focus on the actual action, we use the passive. So let's have a look at the three main rules of when do we use the passive, and then we're going to go into the further rules about how do we form a passive, how do we form from active into the passive, what would be the exact steps. Okay, so first let's look at this. Nicole Quintana, could you please read the three rules of when do we use the passive?
You do not want to say what the action. You do not know what the situation is the object in the most important part of the sentence.
Very good. So the passive we use, and this is, again, we're going to have more rules of when do we use the passive, but these three are the basic ones. When you don't want to say who or what did the action, you don't know who did the action, the object is the most important part of the sentence. So just like we see the example that we just checked here, my hair was cut. I don't know who cut my hair, correct? In this sentence. In the first sentence, I know I cut my hair. So the person who did the action of taking the scissors and cutting the hair was myself. In the second sentence, my hair was cut. This is the passive sentence. I don't know who did the action. I don't know who cut my hair. It's not important, or I don't want to say it. So that's why I say my hair was cut. I'm focusing only on the action, on the fact that someone took the scissors and cut my hair. But I'm not focusing on who did that. Is it hairdresser? Is it my wife? Is it my niece or whoever else? Okay, so in this case, I am using passive. My hair was cut. Now, let's look at these two examples here, and how does the what very correctly Angela said about the role of the object and the subject in active or passive sentences. So let's look at these two examples here. So let's focus on the passive first. Lunch was eaten. Okay, so this is the very, very basic example of the passive sentence. We have a noun, we have to be. In this case, we're using it in the past, so we're saying was, and we have the past participle. Now let's have a look at the structure of active. I eat lunch. Again, super basic sentence. We use the subject, we use the verb, and we use a noun or the object. So the thing to remember is the subject does the action to the object. That applies to the active. Again, the subject, in this case, I, does the action. In this case, action is referred as the verb. So in this case, eat, and to the object, lunch. I eat lunch. Have a look at the second sentence here. The cake was eaten by somebody. And the active sentence, the children ate the cake. So now, in this example, can you tell me where is the subject, where is the action, and where is the object? In this specific sentence, the children ate the cake. Where is the subject, what's the action, and what's the object? Jamilet, can you tell me?
The children is the subject, ate is the action, and cake is the object.
Very good. So the children ate the cake. Now let's have a look at the passive. The cake was eaten by somebody. So where is the object, where is the subject, and where is the action here?
Cake is the subject, eaten is the action, and somebody is the subject.
So does the structure then stays the same?
No, it changed.
How does it change? The cake you said is what? The action or the subject or the object?
The cake is the object.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we put the object in front of the sentence, correct? And then?
And then we have the action, and at last we have the subject.
Very good. Very good. Now, this, I will send this to you. This is not included in your book. This is not included in the grammar book, so I'll send you the grammar book and we'll come to the grammar in a second. This is not included, but I put this for you to have a better understanding. How do we form, or what steps do we need to take when we are taking an active sentence and we want to transform it into the passive sentence? So this will be exactly how many steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps of what do we need to do to follow to transform active sentence into the passive one. I will send this to you, so don't worry, don't copy now, just follow, and it will make a lot more sense. So let's look at the sentence, the children ate the cake. Okay, so this is the same sentence we used previously. It's an active sentence, correct? The children ate the cake. So what do we do in the first step? First step, we identify the subject, the verb, and the object of the active sentence. These 3 things we have to do first. So the subject in this case will be the children. Again, I tried to color code it as much as I could. The verb or the action will be ate. Okay, so eat, ate, eaten. The past for the verb ate. And the object will be the cake. So the first step, tick. We identify the subject, we identify the verb, and we identify the object. Now, the second step, what we need to do, and what Jamilat was very rightly saying, we need to move the object to become the new subject of the sentence. So meaning, whatever was the object in the active sentence will become a subject in the new sentence. So in this case, as we can see from here, it was in the active sentence, the object was the cake. So we move it to the beginning of the sentence to form it like that. So it becomes the cake. Then the next step. What is the verb tense in the active sentence? So let's look again at the active sentence. What is the verb that is sent here, that we're using here, sorry? Guillermo, what is the verb that we're using in this sentence? The children ate the cake.
The verb is ate.
Ate, but what's the tense here? Present simple, past perfect, past continuous?
Perfect, no.
Okay, again, 1 second. Here you go. Remember, I said that this will be useful. Let me put this down. Okay. So have a look at this and think. So you have the tenses, you have the rule or the structure, and then you have the examples. So ate is what? Just ate. Is it, you said past perfect? For the past perfect, you need had and the verb in the third form. Do we have this in a sentence? Guillermo?
No.
So this is not past perfect. Which tense is that, do you think?
Is simple past.
Very good. Absolutely. It's past simple. Okay. It's just the verb in the second form. So in this case, ate. Or if it was a regular verb, it would just have the ending ed. So very good. So where are we? Here. So we identified that this is the past simple tense. Okay. What do we do next? The step number 4. Conjugate the verb be so that it is in the same tense as the main verb in the active sentence. So again, if we're talking about that in the active sentence, the verb was in the past simple tense, meaning that we need to transform the verb be into the same tense. So the verb be in the past would be what? The verb be in the past, what would it be? Was, exactly. So here you go. We finished the step number 4. So we have the cake was. And again, why do we have this? Because we identify, first of all, what tense was being used here. If we say the children eat the cake, then it would be very, very different sentence, correct? Because we would be using different tense. In this case, as we identified it, in the active sentence, we are using past simple tense. We need to transform the be into the same verb and same tense as it was in the active sentence. So in this case, we're transforming it into the past tense, and it becomes the cake was. Now, let's look at the next rule, or the next step. Add the past participle to the main verb after be. The cake was eaten, okay? So in this case, again, we look at what is the main verb in the sentence. What's the main form of the verb? Eat, correct? The past participle is the third form of the verb. So in this case, we have eaten. Eat, ate, eaten. And the final result is the cake was eaten. And then the final step, the subject of the active sentence, we add at the end. So again, in this case, as the active sentence was the children, we add that to the end of the sentence. And we have the cake was eaten by the children. Passive. So these are the 6 steps we need to make with every single time when we transform it from the active into the passive, or the other way around. So if you do the other way around, you just need to switch the steps. But every single time when you're trying to transform a sentence from the active sentence to the passive one, these are the steps you are taking. Okay? So the children ate the cake becomes the cake was eaten by the children. Now, these steps 3, 4, and 5 might be confusing for some, but trust me, it will make more sense once you have a bit more practice. So the key thing to remember is step 1, identify where is the subject, where is the verb, where is the object. Step 2, move the object to the beginning of the sentence. Step 4, what tense are we using in this active sentence? In this active sentence, we are using ate. What does it mean? Which tense? Past simple. Okay, that's why I sent you that summary of the tenses and of what structure we have for each sentence. Once we did that, then we change the verb be to exactly the same tense. So in this case, be, as we're using in the past tense here, we're going to change it to the past tense. The cake was. And then add the past participle of the main verb after be. What is the past participle? Past participle is the third form of the verb. I'm going to send you in a second, maybe during the break, I will send you the regular and irregular verbs for those who don't have it yet. But that's how we move to step 4. And then the final one, move the subject to the end of the sentence. And we have the cake was eaten by the children. Okay? Now, before we go on a break and before we have some further activities, I want you to look and practice this. So you will find it very useful, the tenses that I sent to you, that cheat sheet with all of the verbs and how do we form in a specific structure. I want you to have a look at the activity 2A. Okay, so if you go to the unit 6A and then scroll down, grammar 2A, passive all tenses. So you need to identify which tense is being used there. Okay, as I said, you might find the cheat sheet or cheat summary that I sent you very, very useful with a specific activity. So start with this activity, only this activity first. Grammar, activity 2A, passive, all tenses here. Okay, we're gonna have 5 minutes for this activity. Grammar 2A, do not start other activities, please, just this one first.
Mister, this activity is now.
Yes,
Okay.
but just that one. Don't do other activities just yet. Just grammar 2A, passive, all tenses. Remember, look at the verb and then go back to the sheet that I sent you, the summary of how do we form each tense. Okay, guys, 1 minute. 1 minute to finish. Okay, majority of you finish. Let's have a quick break so you can breathe. And then we're gonna go back to more activities from the passive. Okay, so 5 minutes break. Let's regather at or a few more minutes. Let's regather at 7. No, sorry, 8. Sorry, I'm in a different time zone. So yes, let's regather at 8. Okay. If you do not finish the activities, any of those activities, you can finish them now. Okay, see you in a bit, guys. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back, welcome back. Your camera's on, please. And we'll continue. Welcome back, welcome back. Kenya, Nicole, Kimberly, Guillermo, Hector, Maria Antonieta, Fiorella, welcome back. Javier, welcome back. Angelica, Angeli, welcome back. Guillermo, cameras on, please. And we'll be able to continue. Guillermo, Hector, Fiorella, your cameras on, please. Thank you. Excellent. Thank you, Fiorella. Okay. So, as majority of you are here now, so just to recap, I did send you these 2 pages already. Okay, so how do we form all the examples of and the structures of active as well as passive? And I also sent to our WhatsApp group the 6 steps of how do we form for, a sentence from the active one into the passive one and the steps we need to follow. I know at the beginning it feels a bit confusing and might not feel very natural to use the passive sentences. But again, this is the advanced.
Estoy ya regresada a dar clases, qué estrés.
No stress, Angelica. No need to have stress to return to the classes. Thank you. So, sorry, put me off a bit. Now, so these steps that we're talking about here, these are to help you, okay? Because if you pick any sentence that you like, pick any active sentence and try to form it into the passive one, you will see that these are the actual steps we're taking. And once we become a bit more familiar, once we can do it much faster, then you will see how much easier it is for you to do it that way. So my advice would be, we're going to have some practice now, but also when you finish the class or tomorrow, try to practice yourself. So looking at the specific sentences, try to see how do we form from the active into the passive, okay? But first, let's have a look at the rules from the book. Again, I will send this to you, so you will have it, but just let's go through it together. So let's look at the first of all the examples in the white box. So the passive forming by be plus the past participle. Guillermo, Brian, Angeli, your camera is on, and Angelica as well, your camera. Angelis, Pinkai, please. Could you read the examples here in the white box?
Okay. Number 1, a lot of films are shot in location. Our car is being repaired today. Andy's bike has been stolen. The director died when the film was being made. You will be picked up at the airport by one of our staff. This bill has to be paid tomorrow. And number 2, Batman Begins was directed by Christopher Nolan.
Very good. Very good. So here you can see all of these in the first rule. All of these are the examples of the passive. And you can see that the passive we're using with so many different tenses. Are shot, is being repaired, has been stolen, was being, you'll be picked up, and so on. Has to be paid. These are all examples of the different tenses we're using it when we're forming the passive. And that's exactly what we say in the rule number 3 and number 4, or in the step number 3 and number 4 that I just sent you. Identify what verb we're using and then change it to the specific verb that is being used in the initial sentence. We're going to have practice in a second. Now, let's have a look at the specific rules of when do we use the passive with the past participle. Brian, Could you read the rule number 1, please?
Yes. We often use the passive when it's not said noun or important who does an action. For example, Andy's bike has been stolen. Somebody has stolen Andy's bike. We don't know who. So
Continue.
if you want to say who did the action, use by. We can often say things in two ways, in the active or in the passive. Compare. Batman Begins was directed by Christopher Nolan. The focus is more on the film. Christopher Nolan directed Batman Begins in 2005. The focus is more on Nolan. We form negatives and questions in the same way as in active sentence. Some films aren't shot on location. Is your car being repaired today? Is your car being repaired today? We often use the passive to talk about process. For example, a scientific process and informal writing such as newspaper reports. For example, then the water is heated to 100 degrees. Many buildings in the city have been damaged by the earthquake.
Very good. Very good. So what we said earlier, again, from the rules we have seen in the PowerPoint, these are the main uses of the passive. 1, when we don't know who did the action. 2 is when we don't want to say it or it's not important who did the action. Okay? And then we can also use it, as they say, for the processes, which is not very commonly used, but you can use it in that way as well. But when we don't want to say who did the action, when we don't want to highlight or emphasize on the object that did the action, then we use the passive. And the passive we can use with every single tense. Let's put this into action. Have a look at the screen. Here. Angelica, could you read the task, please? Could you read the task from the screen? Angelica Loja? Angelica Loja, could you read the task from the screen, please? Guillermo, could you read the task from the screen, please?
Okay. Circle the correct form, active or passive.
And the first example?
The college built
Built or was built?
Built. The college built or was built in the 16th country.
In the 16th century. Very good. So in this case, we're not saying the college built because the college did not build itself, correct? So we need to use the passive. The college was built in the 16th century. Now, have a look at the sentences from 1 to 10 and think which option would you choose for the sentence. So the costumes for the show are making or are being made by hand, okay? And then continue down. So 2 minutes, and we're going to do it together. So just read the sentence and see which form, active or passive, would you use in that specific sentence. Okay, so 2 minutes to just quickly scan through all of the 10 sentences, and we're going to do it together. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, Nicole Quintana, the first sentence. Read a full sentence and then which active or passive form did you pick?
Are they getting mad by hand?
Yeah, read a full sentence. Just the costumes for the show.
The costume for the show are making.
Yes.
Are they getting mad by hand?
So which one? Are making or are being made by hand?
Are they getting?
Yes. Yes, so again, here you have the costumes for the show are making by hand. This would be the active sentence, correct? The costumes are making by hand. Or the passive sentence would be the costumes for the show are being made by hand. So in this case, we don't know who made those costumes, correct? So we have to use the passive. So the correct sentence here, the costumes for the show are being made by hand. Okay? We're not using passive in the sentence. So it would be incorrect. We need to use the passive. The costumes for the show are being made by hand. Number 2, Fiorella.
The landscape inspired or was inspired him to write a poem. Poem, no sé.
Poem?
Inspired.
Inspired, excellent. Well done. So in this case, we're using active. The landscape inspired him to write a poem. Okay? In this case, we cannot use the passive because we know the landscape, the subject, inspired him, the object, to write a poem. Very good. The landscape inspired him to write a poem. Active sentence. Number 3, Jamilet.
This castle hasn't been inhabited for nearly a century.
Very good. Well done. This castle has not been inhabited for nearly a century. Number 4, Kimberly.
For the director's last film is set in the present. Set.
The director's last film set in the present?
Yes.
Anyone else? Angeles, what do you think?
I think is set in the present.
Very good. Why do you think that is set?
Because I honestly, in this one, I think it's the one that makes most sense to me when I say out loud, yes. When I say, I cannot say the director's last film set. I can only say is set. It makes more sense to me.
Very good.
Yeah,
here we're looking.
There are some things that just don't sound right. You say it out loud, and you say this doesn't sound right, and it's probably in this case it doesn't sound right. Said.
That's actually, you're absolutely right. The rule that we follow here is the rule from the book, the last rule from the book. But you're absolutely right. And this is the thing with the English language. A lot of times you will see that, and as you both, Daniel and Angeles very rightly said, what feels right. You might not know the rule, okay? You might not know the explanation of why specifically in this case, we have to be using the specific passive form. But you will see which one feels right. Is or is said. Which one feels more right in the sentence? And you will see that it is the one. So if your gut feeling, if your inner understanding tells you that, then my advice is always follow that gut feeling. Okay? If you don't know a specific rule. The rule that we are applying here is the last rule of the book that we are using to describe the set. Okay? So the director's last film is set in the present. Very good. Number 5, Javier.
The film will be shot in the autumn.
The film will be shot in the autumn. Why do you say will be shot, not why will shoot?
Because it's for a specific time. They tell you it's for that time, not for any future, I mean, aleatory. No, it's for that time.
Very good. Very good. Number 6, Hector.
The actors aren't recording or aren't being recorded the dialogue until next week. And in my opinion, is aren't recording.
Very good. The actors aren't recording the dialogue until next week. Well done. Number 7, Luis.
The house wasn't being used by the owners during the winter.
Wasn't being used? Did you say wasn't being used, sorry?
Yes.
Very good. Well done. Yes. The house wasn't being used by the owners during the winter. Number 8, Ingrid.
Number 8, the makeup artist has transformed the actor into a monster. No, yo no me quiero dar ese turno.
Yes. The makeup artist has transformed the actor into a monster. Very good. Active sentence. Number 9, Diego.
Okay, and the number 9, he hadn't owned the company for be very long before they went bankrupt. Bankrupt.
So which option? They hadn't owned or they hadn't been owned?
Hadn't owned.
Very good. Active sentence. They hadn't owned the company for a very long before they went bankrupt. And the last one, Naleli.
The photo was taken by my husband on the balcony of an hotel.
Yes. The photo was taken by my husband on the balcony of our hotel. Was taken, the passive sentence. We're talking about the specific photo. Okay, very good. Now, I want you to go to your Moodle, and I want you to complete activity, grammar activity 6A.1. Student book, grammar bank 6A.1, the correct form of active or passive. Okay, just this one activity. It's just underneath the grammar rules. Grammar bank 6A1, the correct form of active or passive. 5 minutes for this task. Okay, guys, 2 minutes to finish the activity. Okay, let's move on. Let's have a look at the next activity. Angeli, Josue, Luis, your camera is on, please. Hector, could you read the activity, please? Activity B.
Yes, rewrite the sentences with the passive. Only use by if it's necessary.
Okay, and then the example sentence, number 1.
So people don't use this room very often. This room isn't used very often.
Okay, very good. Let's have a look at the sentences from 1 to 10. Okay, so 2 minutes to have a quick look, and we're going to do it together. So in this case, remember, in this case, what you will find very useful is the steps that I sent to WhatsApp group. Okay, so with every single active sentence, use those steps, and you will see how at the end of those 6 steps, you're going to have the passive sentence. So the sentences, these are the steps. Okay, so at the top, you have the active sentence, and you need to make it into the passive one. Use the following steps: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will have the final order. Okay, so look at these sentences, use that step guide, and try to make from active into the passive. 2 minutes, and then we'll do it together. Josue and Luis, your cameras on. Diego, are you here? Okay, thank you. . Okay. Let's give it a go. Who would like to try with the first one? Let's go, Hector.
A lot of foreign films are subtitled.
Okay, so read first of all the active sentence and then the passive one.
They subtitle a lot of foreign films.
And the passive?
A lot of foreign films are... Ahí me cogí en rojo ya.
Okay, so first of all, again, they subtitle a lot of foreign films. A lot of foreign films. Which tense is being used in the initial or active sentence?
Is present.
Present, okay. So what are we gonna do then? A lot of foreign films, we use the rule or the step number 3 and 4. Okay, so we say, what is the verb tense in the active sentence? So we say that it's a present. Then conjugate the verb be so that it is the same tense as the main verb in the active sentence. So that means that we need to transform be into the same tense as we have in our initial sentence. So as you said, because it is present, we're going to use a lot of foreign films. Present of be are. Very good. A lot of foreign films are. And then what do we do next?
Titled.
Subtitled. Very good. With the ending ed. A lot of foreign films are subtitled by, yeah, that's it. Are subtitled. No more. Okay? A lot of foreign films are subtitled. You can say by them or nothing else. But that's what you basically do. So first of all, you focus on the verb in the initial or in the active sentence. You look what tense is being used in that specific sentence. So in this case, subtitle, present. Very good. What you do next, you use the same tense for the form be. So in this case, the foreign films are, and then the past participle of the initial verb, subtitled with the ending ed. Very good. Who would like to do number 2? Number 2, Daniel? Did you raise your hand for number 2 or for number 1? Daniel.
Yeah, he was trying to help in number 1.
Okay, now you can do number 2. So read the first active sentence and then how it would be for the passive one.
Garcia Marquez wrote Lost in Time of Cholera. Lost in Time of Cholera was written by Garcia Marquez.
Very good. Well done. Love in the Time of Cholera was written by Garcia Marquez. So again, what do we do here? We identify the verb. The verb in this case, wrote, is the past simple. Okay? So what do we do? First of all, with the rule number 3 or step number 3, we identify the verb. Step number 4, we transform be to match a specific verb. So be becomes was, and then we look at the initial verb. So initial verb of wrote would be write, and we use it in the past participle. Love in the Time of Cholera was written by Garcia Marquez. Very good. Number 3. Who would like to do number 3? Yes, let's go, Jamilet. Number 3.
Okay. Someone is repairing my laptop. My laptop is being repaired.
Very good. My laptop is being repaired. Again, we're looking at the initial tense that is being used in the active sentence. Is repairing changes to is being repaired. Very good. Well done. This was a bit more different from the previous ones. Well done. Number 4. Who would like to do number 4? Yes, Angeles. Let's go.
Okay. It says they haven't released the DVD of the film yet. The DVD of the film hasn't been released yet.
Very good. The DVD hasn't been released. Again, look at the initial active sentence. What tense is being used, and then just follow those steps. The DVD of the film hasn't been released yet. Well done. Brian, are you raising your hand for 5 or for 4?
Okay, I'm going to make the number 5.
Go ahead.
Okay, the film won't be finished until the spring.
Very good. So the initial sentence, they won't finish the film until the spring. And the passive, the film won't be finished with the ending ed until the spring. Excellent. Number 6. Who would like to do number 6? Number 6. Who wants to try number 6? Luis. Read the active sentence first, and then what would be the passive form of that?
You have to collect the tickets from the box office.
You have to collect the tickets from the box office. The tickets Who would like to help Luis?
The ticket have to be collected.
Collect or collected?
Collected.
Collected from the
Yes.
collected from the box
Box
office.
Very good. Yes, the tickets have to be collected with the ending ed from the box office. Well done. Number 7. Who wants to do number 7? Who would like to try number 7? They hadn't told the actor about the changes in the script. The actor
The actor have been told about the change in the script.
Say again. The actor.
They have not
Yeah.
told about the change in the script.
Very good. Hadn't been told about the change of the script. The actor hadn't been told about the change in the script. Very good. Number 8. Who would like to try number 8? Kenya, do you want to try number 8?
Yes. James Cameron direct Avatar. Avatar was directed by James Cameron.
Very good. James Cameron directed Avatar. Avatar was directed by James Cameron. Very good. Well done. Number 9. Who would like to try number 9? Let's go, Daniel.
They have already recorded the soundtrack. The soundtrack has already been recorded.
Very good. They have already recorded the soundtrack. This is the active sentence. Becomes to the soundtrack has already been recorded. Very good. And the last one, number 10. Who would like to try number 10? They were interviewing the director about the film. That's an active sentence. And then the passive, the director.
The director was being interviewed about the film.
Very good. Very good. The director was being interviewed about the film. Very good. Well done. So remember, the key thing is, as I said, it will take some time for some, but it will come a bit more natural for others. Follow these steps. Follow these steps and you will see how every single active sentence following these simple 6 steps, how it can be transformed into the active, into the passive. First, look, where's the subject, what's the verb, and where's the object? Then move the object, which was already done for us in all of these sentences because the object was already moved in all of these examples here. So basically, we're just following the steps 3, 4, 5, and then the final step. You are looking at what tense is being used in the active sentence. And that's where it's very helpful, that cheat sheet that I sent you to our WhatsApp group. Okay, so have a look at what tense are being used there. The structure, we have the 3 lines, the tense, the structure of the tense, and then the specific example. So what you're doing you're following that specific sheet and you're seeing, okay, in this case, we're talking about the present perfect. In this case, it's a past simple. In this case, it's a present simple. So that's your step number 3. And then you just conjugate the verb be so that it matches the tense of the main verb. So that's how it becomes is being, was, are, want to finish, and so on. And that's it. And then the final step is just add the past participle of the verb after be. Again, did I send or not yet? Let me check. I did. Okay. So one other thing that I sent to our WhatsApp group are regular and irregular verbs. Okay. So give me 1 second. Okay, so this is what I sent to the group, correct? This is the table of the irregular verbs. Now, do we all understand what a regular and what irregular verbs are or not? Kimberly, do you know what regular and irregular verbs are?
Yes.
Yes? Tell me. Tell us. What's a regular verb?
Give me a second. My dog is.
Yeah, okay, okay. Who would like to help Kimberly? What are regular and irregular verbs? Let's go, Daniel.
Irregular verbs are the ones that change when they are in past simple or past participle. They change their form, but regular verbs don't change.
Really? How do you say walk? They don't change in the past or in the
they do change the ending.
Yeah, to what?
Ed.
Very good. Yes. So all of the verbs if they are regular for the past participle or for the past simple, which is going to add the ending ed. Walk, walked. Okay, with the ending ed. That's going to be for the past simple or the past participle, for the second or for the third form of the verb. With the irregular verbs, they are different. They are different in the infinitive or in a general form. They're different in their past simple, and they're different in their past participle. So the page that I sent you with the irregular verbs shows infinitive, that's one line. Then that shows the same verb, how we would be using it in the past simple tense. So verb 2 of the form. And again, if you go back to my sheet that I sent you about all of the verbs, you will see they're mentioning V2, V3. So that's what we're talking about. V1 will be this line, the infinitive. V2 will be the past simple. And V3, or the third form of the verb, will be the past participle. So for this, for the passive, we are using the past participle for the irregular verbs. For the regular verbs, we added just the ending ed, because they are the same for both past simple and the past participle. So irregular verbs, they have to be memorized. This is not the final list that I send you here, but this is the list that is of most commonly used ones. So lie, lay, laid, make, made, made, mean, meant, meant, pay, paid, paid, break, broke, broken. Okay, we don't say break it. Okay, if it was a regular verb, we could add just the ending ed, but we don't say that. We don't say break, broke, break it, and break it. No, it's break, broke, broken. So I broke that chair. That's a correct way to use it in a past simple. The chair was broken by my friend. That's how we use it with a past participle. So again, this is in our WhatsApp group. You will find it very useful as we go along. The list of irregular verbs. All of the other verbs that are regular, we just add the ending ed for both second, the past simple, and the past participle. Very good. Well done. Now, put this into practice. Last activity of the evening. Go back again to Unit 6A. Scroll down to the activity 6A.2. Okay, so grammar activity 6A. Let me show you. 6A.2. Sorry, my computer is playing funny here. Okay. So Unit 6A, scroll down, and this is the activity I want you to do. Student book, Grammar Bank 6A.2. Rewrite the sentences with the passive. Okay. So remember, focus on the verb that is being used in the active sentence, and then transform that verb to be a passive. So steps 3, 4, and 5. That's what you have to do. Look at I sent it to the WhatsApp group, all of those steps. So for each of these questions, it's a good activity to practice. Steps 3, 4, and 5.
Do we have to put a period at the end of every sentence, or?
Sorry?
Do we have to put a period at the end of every sentence, or not really?
What do you mean?
An ending dot, like a period.
Oh, yes, of course.
The number one don't have a period, Daniel. But the next have a period in the end.
Yeah, very good observation. So those that don't have, you should put. I'm not going to mark it as a mistake if there is no full stop in the sentence number one, but all of the rest from question two, as Maria Antonietta very rightly noticed, they do have periods or full stops. So don't put there. Angelica, I changed that. Now, I can see majority of you finished. So just a final thing before we finish the class today. If you see or if you find that a mistake was made, because of course, this is the automated system, so it recognizes automatically your answers. Sometimes it will happen that the system does not recognize the answers correctly. So if you see that the system did not recognize your answer because of the tilde or because of something else, and there's a mistake by the system, what you need to do, take a picture of that screen and send it directly to me through WhatsApp. I will be able to change your grade and I will give you the extra points for that. However, if you made a typing mistake, if you put the wrong tense, obviously, I cannot change that, correct? So it's only where you see that the system made a mistake, it did not recognize the tilde or these type of things, then yes, I can make the changes to the system and I can overwrite your grade. Take a picture of the screen, okay, where you can see that mistake and send it to my WhatsApp privately. I will change your grade and I will increase the grade if that was the case. If it's obvious, as I said, if it's a typing mistake that you put double T's on the one needed or so on, these are the actual mistakes, so I cannot change those. But if it's a mistake caused by the system or by the platform, I will make the change and I will upgrade your grade, whatever you got, okay? Just take a picture, send it to me, and I will change it. Okay, guys.
What about if I wrote
Sorry?
Garcia without a tilde?
it should not recognize the mistake.
Yeah, I recognized it.
Did it? Send it to me. I will review it. Okay. So that will be it for today. Thank you everyone for your time. And again, please, especially those who joined today, don't forget to send me your 2 files. 1, your cedula from both sides, and 2, your passport size picture with a white background. Send it to my my email. My email here is in the chat, or just my name.surname@gmail.com. Okay? So this has to be done by tomorrow because I can see a lot of new faces and I need to have this information before we can proceed to make sure that the right students are sitting in this class and those students that should be. So please, before the beginning of tomorrow's class, send me that information. 2 files. 1, your cedula from both sides, and 2, your passport size picture with a white background in the back. Okay? Send it to my email and then we'll be good to go. Okay? I think that's
teacher,
yes.
question. The Friday you start the class.
Yes.
And
so
I am
okay. So
I
those
don't have to make I don't make the exercise Fridays and today at the first hour.
Yeah. So those who joined a bit later, or those who missed the Friday class or joined today with some difficulties, this is what you need to do. So now we're still focusing on the unit 6A. So you need to do all the reading activities, reading this, reading 1C, reading 4A, 4B, and 4D. Okay, so 5 activities here. Sorry, my computer is playing games today. So, Unit 6A, complete all of the reading activities. Okay, here. Reading 1A, reading 1C, workbook reading 4A, 4B, and 4D. And then if you joined again a bit later, the grammar activities have to be completed as well. So then we switch to grammar. All of the activities there that we completed. Sorry, give me 1 second. Here. So reading activities, grammar activities 2A, grammar activities 6A1 and 6A2, sorry. These 2 have to be completed as well. Leave these activities for now. We're gonna do them tomorrow. So grammar 2A and grammar 2B, leave them as they are, and we're gonna complete and practice tomorrow. Pronunciation we're gonna do tomorrow, and we're gonna go into the grammar as well. On Friday, we did these 2 grammar activities, but I'm gonna recap very quickly in tomorrow's class. We did activity 4A, kinds of films, and then we did also activity from vocabulary bank 4B, people and things. But if you missed the Friday class, just leave it for the time being. We're gonna come back to this tomorrow. For the time being, for those who missed Friday class or who arrived today later, you need to do all the activities from reading. So the 6 activities, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 activities here, and then 3 activities from grammar. Grammar 2A, Grammar Bank 6A1, and Grammar Bank 6A2. Okay? These are all the activities you need to do. For the vocabulary, we're going to come back to those tomorrow. Yeah?
Montes,
Tell me.
in the very last activity we just did in Moodle, I typed the full stop in the second sentence, and it marked me wrong. So probably
I'll check that. I'll check
Yeah,
that. In the future, take a picture and send it to me.
you'll probably need to amend that. Yeah, I'll take a picture and send it to you.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. So whenever
Okay,
there
see
was a
you-
mistake,
See you tomorrow.
excellent. See you tomorrow, guys. Have a good evening and excellent day tomorrow. And good start of the week. And don't forget to send me your pictures, guys, and settlers.
Bye.
See you. Have a good evening, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good evening. See
Bye,
you.
teacher.
See you. Have a good evening, everyone. See you tomorrow.